Hello, American Airlines. This is a quick walkthrough of using LeanFT and Mobile Center to build tests in a desktop Chrome browser and run them again in a Chrome mobile browser from, say, an Android device. I'm going to show you a few things here. It's going to be relatively quick, but it just gives you an idea of what we can do and how Micro Focus's solutions compare with some other ones in the market and how fast we can implement tests and build them out. So quickly in my code here, I just want to show you what I've done. So I have two unit tests that I've created with LeanFT using a JUnit framework. I have my test desktop, which simply loads open a Chrome browser, and then it calls the navigate browser method, and then clears the cache and closes it when it's done. And then I have another test mobile, which is loading up a device that I have connected to Mobile Center, opening the Chrome browser on the device, and then of course running the navigate browser, clearing cache and closing it. So both of those, one of them opening up a desktop browser, one of them opening up a mobile browser on an Android device, both of them run through the same steps. So it's going to navigate to the AA homepage, sync the browser, making sure it's fully loaded, and then I locate the objects that I need to click on. So I clicked on login, I put in a last name, I put in a password, and I click the login button. And then I take a screenshot of the error message that I get because I put in some fake data for this quick example. And that's all it's doing. So everything that I do, whether I do it now on a desktop Chrome or a mobile Chrome, I can create my tests in one single location and pass the appropriate browsers to my test and run them. Instead of having to use the Selenium code to build a test against a web browser and then the Appium code to build a test against a mobile browser, I can use the same code using LeanFT in both locations. So I'm going to run this back for us. So we'll see it open up and run in the Chrome browser on my desktop. And then we'll see it open up a Mobile Center and run it there as well. It'll run really fast because it's pretty quick on the Chrome desktop. So it logs in, puts in last name and password, clicks login. I get the something's wrong message. That was it. Now it opens up the mobile browser on the device. This will be a little slower because this is a pretty terrible device that I have at home. It's just my testing Android device, and its connection's pretty slow. So it's going to log in or go to the URL as well. Once that page is loaded, it's going to click on login and do the same process. So again, same code written once can now be run against both the Chrome desktop browser and Chrome mobile device browser. Same thing, same test, run in two different locations. It only had to be created once. And once this is done, I'll show you the results, and then I'll also show you how we do that with LeanFT and our spying capabilities. So it should be done here in a second. Type in last name, type in password, scroll down, click on login, get the message that something went wrong, take a screenshot, and be done. So my test will have completed now. It's just finishing up, clearing the browser cache, and being done from there. So my test has now been completed. And if I come to up here in my IDE, into my LeanFT, I can go to view last run results. And this gives me a HTML view of my run results. And here you can see I did two tests, test desktop, showing each step that I did. And then this is where I took the screenshot of something went wrong. And then if I come down farther, I can see it here again on the mobile device as well. So I could compare them, whatever I want. I can output reports and get into that whole facet of the development lifecycle, but just know that's part of LeanFT. Now to create this test, I used our spying capabilities that we have always had as far as HPE/Micro Focus goes. If you're familiar with the LeanFT, QTP tools that we've had for a long time, we've now embedded them into IDEs, allowing us to build out tests faster. So what I did here for the code was open up the spying and then open up a browser. I just went to aa.com. And from here, I can actually now spy on objects. So instead of saying log in, let's say I wanted to click on the flight status tab. So when I click on that, over here in my spying window, it's now picked up all the properties associated with that object. I've never done any development with the AA website or the mobile device, anything, but using the spying capability, I can pick up the objects as I need them and actually build out my code quickly. So I can now verify that I can still find the object based on the properties we found, the minimum amount of properties that we found. And then I can click on generate code to clipboard and then hop over here and say paste it in the beginning. So there it says this is how you find the object. And then I could say .click and it would type it in. So I did that for the other objects as well. Now on top of that, we also have the ability to do application modules where we actually build out and model out the entire application from a testing perspective. So I can create a new application model. Let's say I call it Chrome browser app model. And it gives me a UI for creating this, and I'm going to rename it. Chrome browser model and save it. Now if I do my spying, instead of doing it and creating simple code for it, I can actually model out my application here in this app model. So if I open up its spy and then open up a browser again, this time instead of actually copying and pasting code, I will spy and create objects in the application model. So if I click on this and say, let's say I want to go to plan travel, give me a name and I can rename it. Maybe I want to call it plan travel button. And again, I can confirm that it's there. And this time I can actually add the object to the browser repository, the Chrome browser app model. So when I add that, if I go back in here, you can see it actually now exists. And so if I was going to add this to my code, instead of building out a long listed code here, I would create a new app model and call it Chrome browser app model equals new Chrome browser app model, and then pass it whatever I want to test against. I'm testing against my browser. And now what I can do is actually copy this code from here and paste it in and then say .click. So the code's much cleaner. But the other nice thing about it is I can actually model out everything that I need. So let's say I wanted to model out this entire page. I've already picked the plan travel and have it selected here. I can actually tell LeanFT to move up to the next level, meaning the entire page, and tell the page to learn child objects. So at this point, it goes through and learns all of the objects that it can find on the page at a single time. A lot on here, and it breaks them down by link, so we can see that there are links here, right? My trips, my account, so on and so forth, list box, images. So here at this point, I could pick and choose the ones I want, or I can add them all in here if I want to. So I just want to do them all at once. I'm feeling excited. I select them all. I can add them all to the object, the app model at a single time. They're all added successfully. Now if I come over here, they're all here. So what this allows me to do is once I've had these modeled out, I can now reuse this app model over and over again in my testing. Instead of rewriting the same code or even respying on the same code, I can quickly flush out this code faster and faster because now I know I need to come and find the, login. It's already there. So now I can say generate code from here and jump back over to my code and paste it in, say .click. Right? I didn't have to go find the object, reuse things, type it all out, whatever it may be. So between using LeanFT and Mobile Center and the ability to record by spying on the objects and adding them into your code and building out application modules and quickly building out generated code, I can now create the code once and run it against a desktop Chrome and a mobile Chrome without having to write the test twice and now having to manage two different code bases. I can do it once and manage and edit the code as needed for the entire test or for both of them. And using the application model in LeanFT actually allows me to manage and modify the unit test code much faster. Just like our other tools like UFT, we do a much better job of identifying objects from properties and we have a lot more properties that we can locate to help us find the object and flush out tests faster and faster. So I know that was a quick overview. I wanted to get this created and sent over to you because I'll be out for the next couple of days. We might not be able to meet till later in the week, but this should give you a very general idea and a good idea of what we can do from the perspective of Mobile Center, LeanFT, creating tests and running it in both a desktop Chrome browser and a mobile Chrome browser. So if you guys have any questions from this, please let me know and we can get together again maybe at the end of the week and discuss more. Thanks everybody.